You gotta give me a countdown. That's right. We're live. Guys, what is going on? XRP is up over 90% today. We need to look at the charts. Apparently, Brad Garlic House has won the case against the SEC. We are going to the moon. There is an imminent pump coming. 40K is a magnet. Tucker, what's going on, brother? Show us the charts. What is going on in these markets? The people
Guys,
have to know.
guys,
What is that? What is going on? Here we have XRP on the 4-hour candle. And as you can see, it is up a monstrous 95%. What does this mean for altcoins? Today, we're here joined by Max, Edward, Tucker, and also the man himself, Tommy, the man who falls asleep to the ETH hourly chart. Haggard, what's going on? What are you seeing in the charts, brother? What are you seeing in the markets?
yeah, man, we're looking nice. We're looking green across the board. Obviously, XRP just put in the Chad of all Chad candles. It's just beautiful stuff to see, man. Um, Bitcoin, we're getting a nice what looks to be a breakout. We've talked about some targets on here before, but mostly looking around 32, 33K. That should be the next area of interest. I know the whole team basically caught the long a couple days ago from down here, which has been great. But yeah, as we can see on this little watch list over here, altcoins are just absolutely ripping. We got Sol up 17%, Link, Pepe 10%, Ox 12, Lido 16. I mean, just a beautiful green day across the board, man.
Now, is this the start of alt season? The people have to know. The people want to know. Our Discord community, our Twitter community, they want to know, is this the start of alt season?
It could be, man. It could be. I worry that Bitcoin's going to suck back up a little bit of the liquidity, but I think there's absolutely some beta to be played in select alts. So, general answer, I'll just say yes. I'll just say yes.
Guys, now if you can please smash up the like button, hit the retweet button, share the link, help out the algorithm, smash that like button, comment what charts you want to see. We have Hagrid with sniper goggles ready to show all the altcoins that are up massively today, and the entire team, our entire community is up majorly as predicted, exactly as predicted. Max, how are you, my man? What are you seeing in the markets?
Pretty good execution there, Wobby. Pretty good execution on the slogan. Really good execution on your trades. I know you're absolutely printing as predicted. You did call this. You said we're going to have the most bullish CPI print to date, and it came in perfectly. I mean, talk about threading the needle, man. Expected for headline was 3.1. We came in at 3.0. Any lighter than that, I think we would be hearing more of we're in imminent deflation territory. But I mean, you're seeing risk across the board rallying. And then, of course, for crypto, the tailwind here is SEC looking to have beaten the SEC in their lawsuit, which has been a multi-year encumbrance on the price. So to answer your question that you asked, Tucker, is this the start of alt season? Well, I'll say this. We're seeing Bitcoin dominance pulling back pretty heavily. And I think it makes sense, right? If you look at the most recent lawsuit that was published from the SEC against Coinbase, there were a handful of other tickers that were mentioned there for crypto projects that could potentially be classified as unregistered securities, one of which was Solana. And Solana's up 16, 17, 18% off of this Ripple news. So it's not surprising that we're seeing the market chasing beta here. So what I'd be looking for with Bitcoin dominance, and Tucker's got the chart pulled up right there, would be alts. I think we can get a mini alt season if Bitcoin dominance comes back in to retest the previous range high of maybe 49% or just underneath. I think alts can perform tremendously well. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a rotation into alts that's going to last for maybe more than a few weeks at the most, but these alts can move when they get going. They can move really quickly. I mean, we're seeing that today. XRP is up 70%. You're seeing people chasing beta and Pepe. It's up 10%. OX is up 12%. I mean, look at all the alts on the watch list there. Lido's up almost 17% currently. So yeah, I mean, I think there's no reason why. I mean, look, Bitcoin's going to be a good long in this environment. I think that Bitcoin will catch up a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be more opportunities in the alt markets just for a small period of time because they've got this beach ball underwater effect going on where there was this looming dark cloud for so long. There's no reason that they shouldn't perform well right now against their Bitcoin pairs. So yeah, man, absolutely. Absolutely. I think alts are going to rip.
Well, what do you guys think this means for the Coinbase and SEC case? Do we think that Magneto, right, being the SEC, and then Brian Armstrong being Professor Xavier Charles, right? For those of you that don't know, this is an X-Men reference. Do we think that Armstrong will come out strong in the end? And as said in our timeline, XRP is now about to be re-enabled for trading on the Coinbase platform. And to me, it tells my inner child that Charles Xavier, Brian Armstrong, is about to lift the floodgates so that we can absolutely full send to Valhalla. And as you know, Max, right, your barber had told you to hear about the XRP news. And once that gets in motion, the next person hears about it, the next person hears about it. And then by the time you know it, 10,000 new Coinbase accounts are created. And then we have the mother of all pumps. And as we all know, guys, when we see the pump, you have to respect the pump. The pump is something to be respected. It's like karma, right? You respect the pump, and then the pump respects you, and the pump blesses you. And here we are respecting the pump.
Yeah, man, I think it's good news because I mean, look, Ripple beating the SEC, and for those determinations to be made. So in the meantime, yeah, absolutely, man. Like I think it's extremely bullish, especially as we come into these critical levels. I mean, some of the levels that we mentioned when we got on stream here, Bitcoin potentially, there's some air. There's some air from the previous Luna collapse that can most definitely be backfilled. I mean, you're talking about levels potentially up to 37, 38K on Bitcoin. And if we see Bitcoin dominance dropping during that time, imagine what the alt USD pairs are going to do during that time. If things stay bullish out there, and it's not going to go straight up in a straight line, like it'll stair step, the market will ebb and flow, it'll pull back a little, it'll move up. It's a healthy market right now. Market structure is very much so intact, and we're potentially on the cusp of a breakout here. But yeah, man, I mean, absolutely. I mean, look at a lot of your favorite altcoins. Look at your favorite altcoins, how they're performing against Bitcoin, and just ask yourself, what are you really expecting here? Money will flow back into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going to do well. But I mean, imagine if Bitcoin fills that CME futures gap up at 34, 35K, and a lot of these altcoins have been suppressed because of this SEC sort of looming cloud. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of upside potential here. I mean, it's going to maybe only last for a short period of time, but that's really all you need. So if you're paying attention, there's a lot of altcoins that look just absolutely distressed that I think, I mean, look at ADA, for example. I mean, look at that candle. Bitcoin looks great, but if you longed ADA here instead, even better, even better.
Yeah, and crazy enough, a lot of these tokens that were deemed as unregistered securities like Solana, they're up almost 100% off of their lows, which is quite fascinating. It makes you wonder, once the money printer is turned on, once we're back to a ZERP environment, what does that mean for tokens like Solana that have been so distressed, that have had all their faces just destroyed into the ground? What does this mean for Charlie Coin? What does this mean for our boy Charles? He's out in the desert and there are no oxen in sight. And speaking about oxen, Max, what do we have as your background? It seems like you're riding the wave.
Yeah, man, I don't know how else to put it other than the herd is coming, man. I mean, look behind me. They're bull rushing me. No pun intended. The ox are coming. Look at how athletic and versatile those ox are, man. They're freaking surfing. And we got Tucker up there. He's got more of a country club feel to it, nice and esteemed, incredible. But yeah, man, I'm extremely bullish on OX as well. As an exchange token, the utility there is tremendous. And we're seeing it reflected in pricing today. I mean, it's up currently 12%. At one point today, it was up 20%. But for a micro cap, and again, I would still consider this to be a micro cap. It hasn't even been trading for that long. I mean, go back to, just June, May, at very end of May and June is really when people started to take notice to it. My background speaks for itself, man. The herd is coming. Very bullish.
Exactly. For those of you who don't know, we'll also be having a Twitter Spaces with the Open Exchange team and talking about all things herd tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're here new on our YouTube, feel free to smash that like button. Should have 14 likes. There are 14 of you in here. And also click that subscribe button. And also check out our Twitter and our website for all of our latest updates regarding our content here on these social Reddit channels. Next up, Edward, man, what's going on, brother? How are you in taking this news with the SEC and Ripple, brother? How does it make you feel about the markets going to the second of this year?
Yeah, man. I mean, being someone that's been in crypto since late 2016, 2017, like Ripple just, while it wasn't the most liked crypto in the markets, it was one of the most, it was one of the most pioneering ones, right? Whenever it pumped, whether you liked it or didn't like it, everybody was involved. If you were Bitcoin maxis, you eventually bought some XRP. It's just how it happened. And so for the longest time, you know, obviously with the SEC, you know, kind of like on their necks, it just never had that shine, at least not in a long time. So seeing them kind of like come back in a very strong way just gets me feeling reminiscent of that 2017 era that we just had. And it makes me feel bullish. I feel really good about the market. I'm starting to believe that we are going to have one of those glory days once again. Like the bull market is just around the corner. And the rest of the market is just going to follow XRP. We're going to see that market. We're going to see that liquidity just transfer over, right? And like you guys talked about with like OpenX, right? Small cap coins that are just going to absolutely explode. I'm feeling really good. I think this is the first time I felt this excited for crypto since like 2020 or so. So it's been a while. So I'm feeling really bullish, man. Feeling really good.
And what do you think this means for the Coinbase suit? Do you think, you know, a lot of the pressure is going to be taken off? Do you think that's going to entail new users onto the Coinbase platform? And as we know, right, you know, Coinbase is the majority exchange for most individuals here in the United States, right? So, you know, as the bull run shows, you know, when Coinbase starts getting some traction, that's typically when we start seeing a lot of inflows into exchanges and, you know, some of more organic price action to the upside. And, you know, that's one thing that crypto likes to do to showcase its tech. It goes up.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, given the limited amount of resources that Americans have to access crypto, and Coinbase being the largest, I mean, it has to, right? In a lot of ways, it has to affect Coinbase in a positive way. Otherwise, what other options and alternatives do we have out there? And on top of that, if XRP not being a security when way back when it was considered to be the first security, you know, why would the rest of the other altcoins be considered that? You know, it just wouldn't, there would be some kind of discrepancy there in my opinion. So I think this is going to positively affect Coinbase. And in my opinion, this is why a lot of people are bullish, not only on XRP, but on the crypto market as a whole. So it all translates.
Yeah, and I think this also takes away a lot of, you know, the focus on, you know, banning DeFi in the US, making sure it's regulated. And, you know, from what we've seen with Coinbase, they're really trying to pioneer that aspect, building out their layer 2 solution on Optimism, right? It's called Base. They want to build out an infrastructure of products out there. And I think over the next 2 years, you know, the Coinbase stock might be one of the most, you know, high yielding stocks as far as ROI is concerned in the 24 to 36 month time period, man. I think the about woo! Oh, you got it,
baby.
man.
Absolute banger, man.
Dude,
It's a good
Amazing.
day to be an ARC shareholder, baby.
Yeah.
Man.
They're big on coin.
Yeah.
Dude, you have got to love it. You love to see it, guys. Coinbase pressing above $100. Is $200 next? Are the all-time highs closer than we've seen? Is Bitcoin going to press 50K by the end of the year? Here we have the entire speaker panel.
Bobby, you make me want to hit that green button, man. You get me hyped up, man.
What is going on with ARK? Kathy Wood, we need to get her on the show so
Oh,
we can see her
man.
outlook for the second half of 2023. Kathy, how are you? Good afternoon. What do you see in the markets? Mark my words, over the next 12 months, we will have her on one of these shows, and she's going to give us her outlook. on the markets.
As
Hey,
someone
we
that
got we got
doesn't, as someone that doesn't follow ARK closely, do they hold majority Coinbase stock? Because it seems like it's like 1-to-1.
No, so Coin is here, I got my watch list here. Coin is the fourth largest holding in ARK. So it's significant, but I mean, if you look
Mm-hmm.
at everything in ARK, right? I mean, Coin was up 24% today. So the largest holding in ARK is Tesla, was up 2% today. Zoom 2% today. Roku green just by a hair of the dog. Coin 25%. Exact Sciences 2%. Block Inc. 7%. Path 4.7. Shopify 6.7. Teladoc 4%. I mean, all the big holdings in ARK. I mean, it was really the ETF was pulled up tremendously by Coin today. But I'm looking at Coin, I mean, if we look at ARK, right? I mean, look at that. I believe it's that August 2022 high there, Tucker. I think that's a pretty hot level for ARK right there. That range high right there. I mean, potentially
Yeah.
$55, give or take. I mean, that's a really, really pronounced level. And especially if we see crypto continue to perform well and people continue to chase beta and equities and crypto alike, I don't see why ARK can't backfill some of those inefficiencies from the crappy 2022 that it had, especially with its fourth largest holding, ARK, looking extremely bullish here. And again, we were as a community, it's easy to say now, we as a community, we're buying this sub $40 and we're still riding it. So it's been performing very well for us. So would I be buying here? I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic, but we have the luxury of just riding this thing because we were early to the move. And that's really it, is we identified early on with something like ARK and a lot of these on-chain projects too, that it's probably time for mega cap tech and some of the bigger names, even Bitcoin and Ethereum, to bleed back into things that are perceived as riskier. People just chasing beta during what I would consider to be a Goldilocks period. And I think ARK's poised to continue to outperform mega caps. And I think that Coin, specifically as one individual name within the ARK ETF, is poised to continue to outperform and help drag that ETF up. And yeah, I mean, it rolls over even further into crypto. It's like, I mean, look at these altcoins today. Look at them.
I wonder if Kathy is gonna be including some of these alts into her portfolio instead of just having exposure to companies that have exposure to crypto. Like, what if Kathy market buys like Optimism or Arbitrum, right? I think that'd be a narrative for the next upcoming cycle, right? First cycle, right, of the institutional wave, we've had these guys bid up Bitcoin and Ethereum. In the second cycle, they bid some of these layer two solutions. I think that'd be honestly incredible, really. And I think there's even news about like Ethereum ETFs coming out, spot, of course, right? And I think that's going to be another driver. So one for some exciting times, man, and there's a possibility that like we can actually run into the halving instead of just like accumulating slowly into the halving, right? So yeah, man. And with this whole like political environment stuff, all the candidates are, talking about Bitcoin, except the current administration. I think that's going to be a topic where, everyone across the world is going to have eyes on crypto, right? I think next year is going to be the year where it's going to be like 1997, 1998, where
Yeah.
the entire world is made up aware of crypto, right? Just like the internet was in 97, 98. Those are the years where everybody knew what the internet was. They might not have had access to it,
Mhm.
right? But they were made aware of it. And I think next year is the awareness year globally.
Yeah, and so I mean, I agree with you there. When I was predicting the last bull market, this was back in like 2018, 2019, right? And I was drawing those charts. I mean, I was pricing Bitcoin at like 120,000, right? Looking back, like that's almost ridiculous to even say, right? Because we never even got anywhere near that. So for me, I felt like this last bull market just felt short. It almost felt like a tease to what 2017. Again, I'm just referring back to that because that's what I'm reminded of. uh, it's just what it was. You know, we had like 4 bull markets within a single year. You know, if you missed one, no worries. 2, 3 months later, you're longing once again. Extreme, like you're jumping out coin after coin, like you're compounding like crazy. We thought we were on top. It was insane, and we just didn't really get that this time around in the last bull market. And I don't know if it was just because money was locked up in like DeFi or different liquidity that just I wasn't aware of. But yeah, I don't think we had that quite the bull run that I was expecting. And I agree with you there. I do think that this next coming one that's potentially can happen maybe next year, who knows? I think will be very reminiscent of what I want it to be, which is like 120, 200,000 Bitcoin, which would maybe put us at that $12 trillion market cap. So I'm feeling really positive here. I'm feeling really good.
We got our man Tommy with us. Tommy, what do you make of what happened today with the SEC Ripple news?
Man, it is. I mean, as a crypto native and a huge enthusiast for the space and Bitcoin, it can't be understated how big this is, right? I mean, I have talked before about when you deal with legality, it's all about case law and precedents, and the initial ruling ends up being so critically important to if you're trying to achieve something, having that in your favor, it can't be understated. So I'm thrilled with the case win for XRP today. I wasn't expecting it, I'll admit that, but I'm thrilled as a believer in this space, and I think it kind of underscores what's likely to be a shift in our kind of tone towards, if nothing else, probably altcoins. Not just in the immediate term. We saw a great pump that probably has a lot of leverage chasing it, but into the end of the year as well, you have a catalyst not just for Bitcoin to potentially experience more upside through a spot ETF, but now you kind of have some of the regulatory headwinds cleared for altcoins that could be really beneficial for the whole market. So I'm getting really excited about the prospective coming months, and of course, the implications for what the case with Ripple and the SEC mean for things like Coinbase, other altcoins and other assets within the space, especially Ethereum, because I think this is, above all, I think this is a massive, massive ruling for Ethereum, who might be able to now dodge the label of a security.
So are you saying that because of this news, we are now open to potentially having an ETF approved, not just for Bitcoin, but for altcoins? Is that what I'm getting at?
I don't know about, it might take a little bit for some altcoins, but it definitely paved the way for institutional buying of altcoins. I mean, all day up until maybe like an hour or 2, 3 ago, Coinbase had a premium over the rest of the market. Kind of, that's always indicative of, Americans buying, potentially institutions buying. So I guess we'll see, man.
Hagrid and TLT and DXY under 100, brother, for the first time. And
look at that.
Yeah, but what happened, brother? The dev rug? Was there a change in the contract?
Can the devs do something?
No, devs can't do anything.
Were the shares like diluted, brother? Was there like a Series G, a Series H in the funding round, bro?
I mean, there's a lot. The Fed's almost done with their hiking cycle. The PPI is affecting the Dixie as well, obviously. But yeah, I mean, interest rates in general make the dollar stronger. So the thought that interest rates will be finished soon makes the dollar weaker. There's obviously a lot of hedge funds and like who is it? I think Stan Druckenmiller is also like short the dollar, probably from up here though. But yeah, I mean it looks pretty rough for the dollar. I'm not sure where you maybe we come down there, but I don't know. We talked about it a little bit on Market Check, but it's not a great situation that's setting up. And it's a little nuanced. It's not necessarily just dollar down, Bitcoin up. But I mean, today it is, obviously. Today it is. And it looks like it's probably going to keep going. But yeah. I mean, I guess we can pop over to Oh wait, no, I have a much better chart for this actually. Hang on, where is it? This TLT. Yeah, look at this one. You guys are gonna like this one.
Oh, this is my favorite.
Boom. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Jim did it again.
He did it again.
Getting
Yeah.
away
So
with this. You can't keep getting away with this.
he can't. Look, I mean, so higher for longer means this should go down. Obviously, him tweeting it down here is not a great sign for TLT bears, but I like it. I mean, I'm long bonds. I like it. But yeah, I think this is a tough one. I don't want to speculate too much on this one, but yeah, the dollar looks like trash. TLT is looking pretty good actually. So I don't know. I mean, today it spelled Bitcoin's straight up in a straight line. So that's what we like to see. But yeah,
Man, so what's going on with SPX, dude? We're about
ah,
a 5% pump away from all-time
look at that.
highs.
Are we 5%? I haven't even checked.
Close to.
Yeah, six. Yeah, whatever.
Close to.
6%.
Close to, brother.
Tucker, how far is the NASDAQ off of its all-time high?
Use if you want NQ1.
Like 5%, just under 5%.
That's not, yeah, it's not far, man.
S&P's closer by about a
It's like,
percent. Yeah,
that's one
Yeah.
good week, man.
yeah,
one good week.
that's like 2 weeks away, probably. Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're probably gonna do it.
This is basically 2019, but a bit more further along the line, right? Where I think the SPX and NASDAQ peaked out around June, right? And it looks like it's gonna make new highs in August, right? September around there. What I also find funny is Bullard is leaving the Fed in August, and a lot of the Fed members in August 2008 left. you know, so
This is the only worrisome part about it is this net liquidity is like straight down while the S&P is straight up. That's just something that you don't really love to see. And this obviously I don't know what this is. We got a nice little spike, I guess, the other day. This must have just updated actually, but yeah, this type of thing doesn't usually end well, but it can continue for quite a while. So I think we've still got some juice left in the tank. But as long as people are still aggressively shorting it, it's going to keep going higher. It's just how it works. They're just gonna get those people's options to expire worthless, and it's gonna crush vol and send the index higher. So I expect that to probably continue until Q4. But yeah, this is the only worrisome part about it.
Hagrid, what's worrisome is you haven't addressed your background, brother. What's going on?
Oh yeah, this is a picture of my ancestors from 1923. If I sit up a little bit, it really looks good. It looks like I'm one of them, but yeah, if I scoot over, here's the little one right here. I don't know if you guys can hear my cat like screaming at me through the door, but yeah, this is the fam right here.
The similarities, man, they're just uncanny. Tell me a little bit about your ancestors, man. What yeah, it's got to be the ears. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like we've done this on Market Check before, but like if we go back to 2018, you can see what happened. Also, you got to bring the liquidity down substantially though. But last time we saw, I think it was here. Yeah, this was what I'm talking about. Down, up, and see ya. Right. So at some point.
That was due to the COVID crash, brother.
No, this was COVID.
Yeah.
This was yeah. This was COVID. This was something else. Volmageddon.
I remember that time period, those small couple of days.
I wanna hear your thoughts, guys. Like, I guess going really back to XRP here. I've been posting some charts on Twitter, where like it's been consolidating like from a really high time frame, right? We're talking like 5 years. And personally, like I'm under the impression this thing is gonna start making all-time highs pretty soon. You have to actually look at it from like I think
Someone
The
got
old-
Bitfinex,
caught in that wick, bro. Someone got caught in that wick.
yeah, or
Yeah,
Bitstamp, I think.
KuCoin wick, bro.
Jeez, bro.
Who's got the
Someone is
longest chart?
trapped.
Check.
Somebody is trapped, man.
Let
At
me
like
let me see on my
98
end.
cents.
It's got to be like Bitfinex, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I can
Bitfinex.
flip it.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
using
but
the Binance, but I'm not using the USDT chart. I'm just using USD. So just take out the T, yeah. On Binance. Yeah, yeah, just
No.
XRP. I think it's that one, the second one. There we go. That works. That's clean right there. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Wow, it was 2013. I did not know that actually.
Yeah,
I mean, Ripple didn't really have a bull run in
exactly.
I thought it was
2020. I mean,
Yeah, it's
Coinbase delisted them, and it really never went on to do much, you know? So it's like now that you have this lawsuit out of the way, the big question is like, is this another one of those beach ball underwater effects? And it's gonna have its own mini bull market because it never had one.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you there. And that's exactly the point. I was pretty long, honestly, the last bull run in 2020 or 2021 leading into it. But as soon as they hit him with that SEC lawsuit, it was game over from there. They just had no chance whatsoever. So they've just been suppressed whatsoever. And from what I do remember, I mean, if you even look at the chart early on in 2017 or so, like during that whole time period, there was moments where even while the rest of the altcoin market was suffering, I mean, the XRP community was just strong. Like they held on to that token. They would pump it continuously. You can see right here, like it was like during April, June of 2017. And then it had a slight consolidation before pumping upwards to like $3 or so. So this thing had like 2 or 3 runs during that single year when I remember that.
Yeah.
They're an obsessive community for sure, man.
Exactly. And that's why I'm not crazy about XRP itself, but I do understand that the community itself is. So therefore, I'm pretty bullish on it personally. So whenever I get the chance,
Are you invested in are you still invested in XRP at all or have any exposure, Edward?
I bought like the tiniest amount when I had made like this little short video like a few weeks back, only just to have some, but it wasn't to like as much as I would like. So I'm just now looking to obviously I'm going to watch the charts, make sure it's consolidating, see if it's holding its price action and not just going to, go right back down. But I would look to see if there's going to be a breakout or some kind of consolidation here. I think that this, given the impulse and the news and everything else surrounding it, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Like you mentioned, there is a chance that this could have its own little mini bull run soon. And so I'm paying close attention for something like that. Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. I actually knew a guy who had like multi 6 figures of XRP. I'm sure to this day he's probably still holding on to it. It's he was
Dude, people are passionate about it, no question.
right.
Very passionate about XRP.
Let's take a look at Luna, dude.
Luna.
See what Luna's up to, brother.
Luna comeback, man.
You talking about this Luna or the first Luna?
Ugh,
Or Lunk?
that looks nasty.
What did it go to? $100, right? Yeah. Wow. What?
That was
So this is the OG. This is the OG Luna. Yeah.
But like then they did some little rebrand thing to like Luna V2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy to think, dude, that like that was the golden child of the last bull market, and now it's just like nobody cares at all.
Yeah.
And there's like a very tiny community that is is just holding on to what to what was right back then, and
Dude, I'm pretty sure this liquidated so many people.
yeah, yeah.
Or
And
maybe
then
it was like these wicks. Who was the firm that literally got liquidated shorting this somehow by
like
wicks like these? You know what I
the
mean?
the
Liquidated.
lawyers, the lawyers capital.
Somebody did. I don't remember who.
Oh,
Hilarious.
yeah, I think it was the lawyers. I mean, confirm. I don't want to be deemed as a misinformation there.
There's luck.
Yeah, Lunk did a ton.
Lunk.
Uh,
Looks like a lunk, man. The way it's trading.
Yeah, that's what happens when disobedience occurs, right? An entire community just disobedient to the coach. They
the
did like they
coach.
did like a 20x over the summertime though. Last year did like a 25x from June
Yeah.
from like June of 22 to September of 22. Yeah, that monstrous run. Yeah, yeah.
Pulled a 6 or 7x. Yeah.
No, no, you gotta go from like the bottom, bro. You went to like
Oh,
the
from
top
the bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
1,300%. Yeah, that's like a 12x.
That was that was absolutely sick, dude. But yeah, dude, a lot of the golden childs are just dead in the water, dude. Like even AVAX, dude. Like, what's going on with them? NFTs. Phantom is done. Harmony is done. Near is done. Solana, maybe, maybe. You know,
Sorry, I'm muted. Wobby, I was gonna say, what do you think about AVAX going into the next cycle, man? I know it was a
dude.
great performer like the Soul Lunavax, but do you think it's gonna go on to not only make a new all-time high, but significantly new highs beyond where it topped out last cycle?
Man, honestly, dude, with AVAX, like it didn't even go that crazy. It didn't even do 100x. I think it debuted. I remember because I aped it the moment it came out on Binance. It debuted at just under $3, and I remember um somebody from Token Metrics was on a CNBC show, and then they mentioned how like subnets are gonna do incredibly well over the next year. And so I aped it, and then that thing did like a 20x in a couple of weeks. And then, it went on to do like barely a double after that, right? I mean, I went from 6 feet to like 15, and then from 15 to like 140. So it didn't even do 100x, right? Near outperformed it. But yeah, as far as making a new high, there was no incentive, dude. The incentive with AVAX was correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it like Danny coins that made AVAX go crazy, right? Second half, and then
That had a lot to do with it, and the fact that ETH gas fees were starting to get really expensive, and you could transact on AVAX for dirt cheap. But yeah, I mean, it had a great like altcoin market as well. I really enjoyed AVAX Rush, man.
yeah, it was Rush that was like the main thing. It wasn't really the AVAX token, and quite
Time
honestly, like
time helped a lot. Wonderland, the
yeah,
port put a
like
lot of
there's no face behind it, and like they bump up their tweets, they pay for like exposure and all that stuff, but yeah, like I don't really see them on the algorithm, like the natural algorithm, and there's nothing new. I think like they're trying to do something with Move, and yeah, like I've spoken to a few like red triangle enthusiasts, but if if your favorite token is not performing during these like super easy conditions, right? It's been pretty easy over the last couple of months, and all you really had to do is buy whenever there's like mass FUD, right? In March, there was mass FUD. Last month there was mass FUD. Remember that crash, guys, a couple of weeks ago on that Friday night where all coins just dropped like 30, 40%, right? Like Optimism went to like 80 something cents, dude. Right? LDO went to like $1.50, man. OX went back to a penny. And like look at this pump that we're having now. That's pretty much been the game plan all year, really. Just literally buy the dip. Buy
Bobby, let me pick your brain a little bit on this. So you've told me this before. You've told our community this. There's seasonality to these trends, and as we get further into Q3, do you think there's going to be a time to risk off here pretty soon, even though things are really bullish right now in the short term? Does this change anything for you over like just going into like the middle to second half of the second half of the year?
Yeah, man. So like if you look on seasonalities and trends, right? Typically, if there's a summer pump, you usually have until like mid to late August at best to catch these like easy mode plays, right? And now with on chain, probably at best like early September, but September going into October, that month usually leads a candle to the downside. September has never been different at all, right? Look at last year, red, September 21, red, September 2020, red, September 2019, red, 2018, red, 2017, red. Um, yeah, even 2016, dude, like it's just always been a gnarly month. So, like I said in our Discord calls, man, like I think if we make a new yearly high in some of these alts, right? Like I think if I see LDL pressing up against $4, right? And of course, if LDL is pressing $4, I would have to see Coinbase stock at like 120, $130 a share, right? So, I think at those levels, of course, like I'd take some off the table and, you know, just let the market do its thing and trend a bit lower back to like the high 20s and see what kind of new meta there is right there. Right now that there's like a lot of these on-chain plays on Ethereum. On Ethereum, that's the main emphasis on Ethereum. It's not on AVAX, it's not on Sol, it's on ETH, right? Um, just play whatever the new shiny thing is, right? But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts for like later on in Q3. Um, but perhaps the sell-off isn't as gnarly, right? And like I said at the start of the year, right? Like I said this like word for word, like late December, early January, that this year's probably going to end up with the mixture of 2015 and 2019. It's going to have 2015 chop, which we've seen, but it's going to have these small pockets of volatility where like extreme upside momentum is seen, such as days like today, right? Where you see your favorite altcoin up like 25, 30%, right? Um, and you might have some outperformers, right? Like now that we've seen this pressure be subsidized, like backed off from CZ and all that stuff. You've been seeing a lot of the gambling tokens, um, kind of like calling ass, right? And Snorlax called out that play with Dream Machine token, right? You can pull that up by the way if you want to. Aggregate. Ticker is DMT. And so, I completely missed out on DMT. But like the day before CPI, when our Giga Chat called, even the day before that, I was like, you know, if there is a token for the next cycle, it's going to be like a Luna, right? That people are going to call scam, and a lot of retail are going to go into it. It's probably something like Rollbit, right? And it was doing pretty much nothing. It had that pump from Osaka, and then it just did nothing. So I'm like, okay, it's ranging towards 5 cents. Once it goes a little over 5 cents, I'm going to get some. And Green Machine's token is doing quite well, right? And you're seeing like a lot more speculation, across Twitter and all that stuff. And ROB will surely take over, right? It will surely catch up. And yeah, like I think casino tokens are going to do absolutely phenomenal. I think if something like Dream Machine token gets down to like $10, $8, right, by the end of the year, it's gonna be a pretty good buy, right? And these tokens tend to go a bit longer than expected, right? Like DMT could easily double But same thing goes for the drawdowns. In a couple of days, the thing can be down 70%. Just take a look at Pepe, right? But yeah, I think gambling, it's pretty much the same thing as gaming. So I think that's a good narrative for the next cycle, and I think that's something that's always going to be in season, right? So if you see ROV down like 50% from wherever it peaks, whether it's 10 cents, whether it's 20 cents, and you see it down 50, 60%, you know, follow what you want to do. And if you think it's a good hold for the next cycle, you'll be good, right? So if you take a look at the 4 hour chart, like right there, you'll see that like when it was hovering, I think it's like that little red candle before the huge green one, right? Like you'll see that like that was basically make or break. And like my thought process was basically, okay, if we're gonna have the most bullish CPI print, right, with a 3 handle, potentially a 2 handle, then this thing is gonna absolutely run, right? And yeah,
Hey, I'd love to share a chart real quick, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, do it.
This is what you were talking about, Wabi, right here. Can you guys see this okay? This is the Bitcoin monthly returns. You can see that, Wabi, what you're talking about, August and September have been the two worst performing months since the inception of Bitcoin. The average return for Bitcoin in August minus 24.7%, September minus 12.8%.
yeah, I think like in August, before at about like 38, 41K around there, then dude, it's not that hard to see like Bitcoin at 30K, especially if the S&P does like the little double top thing and then just retraces back to 4,000 and it's over, and then we just continue from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Well, seasonality is certainly in effect. I mean, the main objective at this point, I think, for people understanding that that's on the horizon, it'd be pertinent to try to see Bitcoin up in like the mid to upper 30s at that point, just to give ourselves the best fighting chance to not lose critical support on the way back down if seasonality is to come into effect, as it historically has around this time of year.
yeah, I think end of the year regardless, I think we're gonna be like close to 30K. Like anything can happen in between the middle and from the yearly open to yearly close, but I still think from yearly open to yearly close, we'll be closer to 100% from yearly open to yearly close, kind of like we did in 2015, right? Um, and I think like that yearly open for 24, that's pretty much where we just want to be like all in at that point, man. And people seem to forget that after we broke the previous all-time high in December of 2020, we had 4 months, man. 4 months goes by pretty quickly, right? And if you ordered in certain assets for the second half of 21, you didn't really perform well, right? Many people they stuck to Coinbase, right? Like this is now a market where if you're not on chain, like why are you even in crypto? Like why aren't you in the equity markets at that point, right? Like some of these stocks have outperformed tokens year to date, right? Like if I'm an average Joe and I want exposure to crypto, then I open up a Robinhood account. It's late 2022, early 2023, and I buy a miner stock, right? Or I even buy like Nvidia, right? Um, I'm up more than some of these altcoins are, right? In the top 10, right? I'm outperforming Bitcoin and I'm outperforming Ethereum. I'm outperforming, BNB, XRP, right? So if I'm the average Joe, right, and I want exposure to crypto and I don't want to go on chain, why would I even open up a crypto account, right? Why wouldn't I just, buy some shares of a company that has exposure to it, right? Because by the time it gets listed on Coinbase, most of the pump is already done at that point. Like the Coinbase listing is for exit liquidity, bro.
And by the way, there were some rumors floating around today about a potential Pepe listing on Coinbase. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if I believe it because, man, that community, I love them, but they attacked Coinbase ruthlessly. I'd be a little surprised if Coinbase just folded and listed them. I don't know. I feel like they have to be a little spiteful after what happened.
Yeah.
You know what they say, right? You got to be keep your friends close, but your enemies closer type deal. You never know. Can't you
Yeah, you know,
got
I hope
don't
they
let them
get
know your
listed,
next
man.
move.
I hope so, man. I hope they do list them, but hard to say.
Yeah, man. So we have 24 hours left, as I said, um, with KuCoin if you're, well, if you only have um, US citizenship, these are your last 24 hours to use KuCoin. And after that, you're gonna have to KYC. So,
It's over.
I remember, dude, like during one of our Giga Chat calls, I was mentioning like, I if this is actually gonna be like it for KuCoin, they might run it up one more time, like one solid pump, and well, frankly, this is a solid pump. But um, we'll see what tomorrow brings, man. I think that like we have one more pump tomorrow, we trade at like 34, 35K. I think we can see some pretty nice action, right?
Do you
But
think we're gonna get a little weekend action? I want to hear from Tommy, man. Tommy, are you sensing? Are your perps senses tingling for this weekend?
For altcoins, if we're getting movement on the weekend, it's probably going to be altcoins. So that's what I'll be watching.
Nice.
yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap up, guys. We do have a space in about 2 hours. So thank you all so much. For those of you who are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button, turn on bell notice to keep up with all of our content here on YouTube. And feel free to check out our website and also, our Twitter handle so you can keep up with our Twitter spaces. We'll be hosting a space with the OpenX team. We'll be having Leslie and Mark Lamb. They are the CEO and co-founder, and that'll be today at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Thank you all so much. Thank you for those who came here from our Twitter community, from our Discord community. And yeah, if you like this content, feel free to smash that like button, leave a comment, and we'll see you all on the next stream, which will be tomorrow for market check, and then our Friday afternoon stream with Blockchain Boy at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, as we usually do every Friday. So thank you all so much. We'll see you all later on tonight for our Twitter spaces. Take care. Max, if you have any last words that you want to give to the audience.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much for being here. Like Wabi said, tune in for that space tonight. It's certainly going to be a fun one. Really excited about that. And if you haven't checked out our Discord yet, go to our website, www.becausebitcoin.com, navigate to the premium tab, and it should be pretty intuitive from there. But we are offering some specials and also some free trials, so be sure to check that out. You have my word. It will most certainly be worth your time. We put in a lot of effort catering towards that community, and we've been killing it recently. So check it out. We'd love to meet some more of you guys. Thanks for being here.
All right, and live tweet from our feed. Coinbase has just gone live with XRP token trading after like 2 years, like two
Oof.
plus years.
They didn't miss a beat, man. They are back.
Yeah, yeah, man. And I don't think Brian's gonna lose, bro. I think he's the next like Steve Jobs, and Coinbase is, has a potential of reaching $1 trillion market cap over the next 5 years by the end of the decade, really. Um, so excited for that. I wonder if there's any like a super league where you take a bet on Coinbase going up over the next like 5 years. Do those exist? Like on the options market?
Not for 5 years, but you could get some probably 2 year out options.
2025s, yeah.
And the FOMO that I would feel to open up a brokerage account, man, if Coinbase goes back to like $50, you know. But we have on-chain alts for that. So thank you so much, guys. Take care. We'll see you all later on tonight.
All right, we're good. Good.